first off, I wanted to say I loved Traumatica. It's definitely horror that we don't see very often nowadays, so just very refreshing.
Oh,
So,
thank you so much. I'm so glad to hear that. I appreciate it very much.
um, so how did you come to be a part of this project, and what was it that really excited you and like really compelled you to join?
Yeah, so I'd worked with Pierre and Max before, the director and producer on Two Witches. And so when they asked me if I would consider it, I was like, yes. Like I'll read the script because I need to in order to do the movie, but I'm yes before I even read the script. I think they're just really brilliant and innovative and come up with new, exciting ideas. So I was really excited to see this film come to life. But then, besides working with them, which was definitely a big plus, also the role of Abigail. Without spoiling too much, she, starts out as the very much the villain of the movie, and she's doing unspeakable things. But then, as you watch the movie, you realize, why she's doing the things she's doing. And I hope that audiences have maybe some sympathy for her. And at the end, you're not really sure how to feel about her because she did horrible things, but you understand why, and she's going through literal hell. So that really attracted me to playing her and to doing the film because she has so many layers and complexities. And when you think you know her, then things change. And I was really excited to like bring that to life.
No, I absolutely love that. It really is like an exploration of like why people do the things they do, and it's all rooted in like childhood trauma.
Right.
So not to get like super personal, but like, is there a fear that you had as a child that kind of shaped how you approach life today?
Ooh, that's a great question. A fear that shaped me in life today. I think, it's I mean, as an actor, anyone that, my acting teacher says like anyone that pretends that they don't want to be seen as an actor is kidding themselves. It's like you're an actor because you want to be watched. And I think there is a part of me that when I was younger that, had a fear of like not being noticed because I was small and petite and like kind of quiet. And I had friends, but I wasn't, um, I often felt kind of like on the outside. So I think kind of like being maybe forgotten. And that's not the reason I'm an actor because I love acting. That's not why. But I feel like that, is kind of partly, helps, you know, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the right word, um, shape who I am as an actor today because he is right. Like we are actors because we want to be seen and watched. And that, kind of speaks to like where I was as a child, if that makes sense.
No, no, it definitely does.
I've
Um,
never been asked that question. That's a great question. So I'm like, am I making any sense at all?
no, totally, totally. I always like to ask questions like that because it really informs just like the story behind the story. And like, yes, this is a horror, but once we understand that we have that like relation to the characters, it like in a weird way makes it even more scary, but also comforting.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love that.
Um, and it I just loved this entire film, and I've been trying to like put my finger on like why we haven't seen horror like this in a while and like what it is about this that's just so unique. So from your perspective, not being a stranger to the horror genre, what is it about Traumatica that sets it apart from the rest of the genre?
I think the sharp turns, it's very unpredictable. When you think you kind of know the way it's going, it makes a 180 in another way. I love the first person perspective of the child, also makes it unique. I don't think we have very many horror films like that where it's literally coming from the child, which also helped us, because he was like 6 at the time, and I he never saw me in the makeup, so it was like I was acting with the camera a lot. Um, and also just, that there are some unexpected laughs that you don't expect that kind of, put your guard down and then you're immediately thrown back into the action. And also just the way the timeline was told, I think is really, really brilliant of starting where we start versus telling it as a linear story. Makes it, you're thrown into the action immediately and then then you find out why instead of telling it the normal way. So I think those are all things that kind of set it apart. Plus, there's just some really images like that. Hopefully, people are seared into people's minds and they can't forget. I feel like the booger is going to be one that people are going to be hopefully talking about because that's insane to me still that we got that. And the dance, it's like there's just some very strange, fun elements amongst a very heavy film.
I definitely agree that stuff like that is not common, and it's helping me narrow down like exactly like my own feelings about just why this is an excellent film.
Oh, thank
Uh,
you.
what are you most excited for people to see when they watch this? Kind of keeping all of the uniqueness in mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think the journey of the characters. I get to do things that I've never done. Sean O'Brien gets to he played my dad. No one has ever seen him like this before. He gets to do some wild things, and I'm excited for people to see, him transform into something that's like terrifying, as well, and just to hear what people think. I mean, and hear what scenes resonate with them, what they remember. The ride, hopefully that we take people on. Hopefully they're scared. Hopefully they feel all of the things and want to talk about it after.
I can definitely attest that I want to keep talking about it.
Well, that's great. I love that.
Um, Horror in a way gets personal and political, and it's art and it's all kinds of things that like we should be thinking about afterwards. So what do you hope people get out of this through the ride and through the journey of the characters?
Yeah, on top, obviously, it's a fun ride on top, but underneath we're exploring, trauma and childhood trauma and generational trauma, and the character of Abigail goes through, literal hell, and so I hope that also opens up some conversations about what that looks like because it's a genre. I feel like the horror genre is one of the only ones that could explore in this way, where people would be more open to like watching it. And of course, they can take it as the fun ride that it is and stop there, and that's totally valid. But then hopefully there's people that look at it underneath and what actually is happening and the horrific things that Abigail goes through. And that's, I know is going to be triggering for some people. I know people have going to be able to relate to what they're watching. And I hope that, was definitely took that in mind and wanted to do that in a respectful way. And that's, opens up many conversations about what they watched.
I'm a huge advocate for watching every horror movie at least twice. Once for the initial like shock value and awe of it, and then the second one to find those deeper meanings.
Right, absolutely. I love that. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Um, Running out of time, and I'm very sad about that because I could literally keep talking about this forever. But my final question for you is what is up next for you?
Yeah, so I have a film called Swipe that I just wrapped. It's in post-production now. That's got Elaine Hendricks from Parent Trap, and Hana May Lee from Pitch Perfect, and Sean Whalen, who was also in Traumatika, and a slew of other amazing actors that hopefully will be coming out next year. And then I have another film called Regression that I filmed in October. It's another horror film that hopefully will be coming out next year as well. And then I have several projects that are in development that I can't talk about quite yet, but very excited about.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Amazing. Um, Well, after seeing you in Traumatica, I'm very excited for Swipe and Regression, so I'll be on the lookout for those next year.
Thank you, Beth. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate your support in watching the film and so glad that you enjoyed it.